Thank you all for coming. Just before we get started, last call for raffle tickets. If anybody'd like them, Kathy and Joanne over there at the table. And again, the benefit today, it's a 50-50, but the proceeds will go to the Mashpee Food Bank. So it goes with our theme of cooking and food. Couldn't be better. And on that note, I'd like to welcome our presenters today, which are Lisa Santos and Marianne Bauer from Williams Sonoma. And we really do have to thank them. They are donating their time and all the cooking ingredients to this effort for us. So we're most appreciative. We're all going to go home and be able to cook a Hawaiian luau. So that's exciting. I'd also like to welcome our new members today. And if you've seen anybody with a little pink dot on their name tag, they are a new member, and I'd like to welcome them: Ellen Mace, Diane Nawaza, Diane here, Maureen Trudak, and Lois Harrington is in the back there, and Rita Barrett Cosby. So we're all delighted that you're here and part of the group, and looking forward to seeing you again and getting involved in all the fun stuff we do. We also have several guests today who are wearing yellow dots, so please greet them as well. If you see them, Nancy Noonan and Cindy Peralta. Oh, I messed up my first official act. I forgot the Pledge of Allegiance, so we'll have to interrupt our greetings. Oh my goodness. A big faux pas on my part. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh dear. Kathy from the 50-50 also said someone left a pair of sunglasses there when they were buying their tickets. Anybody? They're here. I'll get them off. Thank you to our greeters, the hospitality table, Diane Tierney, Susan Creed, and Linda Garrett. Linda, of course, has been running the luncheons for at least the last 8 years. She's officially resigned. We have our new person, Cindy, who I'll introduce in a minute. But she just can't stay away. She's got to stay involved, because that's who she is. So thank you. The 50-50 raffle again, Kathy Olson and Joanne Burke. Thanks to Carolyn for these very beautiful and creative centerpieces. Aren't they fun? The pineapple, and someone's going to get to take it home. Carolyn can expand upon that. And I have a quick announcement about an event that Mashpee Women's Club had done for many years. It kind of fell by the wayside with COVID, but it's being revived thanks to the efforts, particularly of a member who wanted to see it come back, Susan Van Tol. We're bringing back the author luncheon for all the book clubs combined. So we have details to follow. We've looked at the date already of December 4th, Wednesday, December 4th. It has to go through some official channels and things, but please save that date, and we'll be getting back to you with more details. It's going to be right here in Mashpee at a different venue, but we'll look for details to follow shortly. So thank you, Susan, for taking that on. A lot of people have been looking for it. It's summer, all the book groups get together and an author comes and speaks. So look for more details on that. And now to some business. Where is Cindy? Right here. Well, wait, oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. It is dues renewal time, and for those of you that haven't submitted the dues yet, which this year is $42, please, you could either pay by check, which you could leave today, or Venmo, but it really helps us to get our books in order and so forth. So just a gentle reminder if anybody. We have 2 new membership people, if they could stand up briefly, who are taking this on. Mary Liz has retired after a tenure of 7 or 8 years as well, and have some new people stepping up, Joan Ford and Bonnie Sternum. So they're handling this, and it's a lot of work to keep track of all this, and the good news is that people are joining all the time. But for anybody here, just a reminder about paying the dues. And now, Cindy, sorry about that. A huge thank you to Cindy, who is the new, as affectionately called, lunch lady. And while she's been kind of shadowing Linda for the last few months, this is her first official luncheon on her own. So she has a few words just to share with you as well.
Well, welcome to all of you for the first lunch of this new season. We're going to have a wonderful program today. You know, hear me all right? Good. So a few things that I just wanted to mention. We are going to try to do something new this coming year. New Seabury would like us to provide our final head count a little bit earlier. It makes it easier for the club. Up until now, we have allowed everyone to register as late as 1 week prior. Now we are going to have that on the second Monday of the month. So what that means is it's the Monday the week prior. I'm going to provide my final count. What's important here is that I would like to ask that the checks or the Venmo payments be in my hands by that Monday. So I'd like to ask everybody to make a notation on their calendars. If you are going to send a check, I request that you send me an email. I'm in the directory. We've got my name will be published every month for the following month. This way I will be ensured to include you in my count and look for your check. If you don't think your check will get to me by that Monday, I recommend that you actually go to the post office and deliver your check right to the lady at the counter. She said she'll stick it right in the box and I will be sure to get it. So if you're going to mail it well enough in advance that we get it, because that could be a problem. And I don't want anyone to miss out. It's a fun time and we want everyone to participate. I also have a basket up on the table on your way out. If you would like to pay by check now for next month, that will eliminate any problems that you have next month, and I'll be doing that each month. You can write me a check, leave it in the little basket up there, and you'll be signed up for next month. And finally, please return your name tag so I don't have to redo them. There's a basket for that up there as well. Have fun, enjoy yourself. We're going to learn some wonderful new tips and tricks from our Williams Sonoma cooking guru, and have a good time.
Thank you, Cindy. And Carolyn Holmes, who, in addition to the centerpieces, organizes the programs. Did you want to get up and say a few words about the upcoming programs? Okay, do that. Carolyn wears a lot of hats, and she's also been on the board a very long time, so we appreciate her efforts. And just again, the last comment I'd like to make, it's Cindy's first luncheon as the lunch coordinator, and as of September, we have a whole new board and other committees. Over half the people on the board are new to the board overall. And I have to say, well, first of all, thank you to all of the retirees And thank you for their service, many years of service. And there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that until you really get involved, or if you, I mean, it's not like a wedding, but in some ways it's a mini wedding in terms of all of the things that go on just for the luncheon. But there's so many other activities that the board addresses. And so thank you to all of those, including the recently retired president, who's still on the board, though she doesn't get off as the totally, but again, thank you. And for the new board members, thank you so much for stepping up. I'm so impressed with the enthusiasm and people jumping right in, getting involved, and it's just going to be great to have a mix of the new people with new ideas and the old people, okay. the people who continued on the board, and so looking forward to a lot of great things. And lastly, just particularly when the demonstration starts, we'd ask everybody to turn their phones on silent or off, because we don't want to interrupt the speaker when they're on. So, with that, enjoy, and we can move on to our luncheon.
Good, good. I'm glad. Great way to get the season started. So we've got just a couple of quick announcements before we get started with our presentation. As I talked about the luncheon earlier, for next month, October is one of those weird months. I may have mentioned this, but the month begins on Tuesday, which means that the 7th is the first Monday, not the second Monday of the month, that I will need to have your payments. Again, if it's a check or a Venmo, I need to have it, or at least an email from you before then, okay? That's the 7th of October. Now, we're going to do our 50-50 raffle now, and if everybody will look at your tickets, Kathy will read it.
Okay, I already pulled it. So 056, everybody should have 056, 407. 056 407. Testing. Is it on? Aloha, everybody. Could it be more perfect here at Pompanesett? What a wonderful day. I can't wait for our presentation. But before we get started, just a little bit of business. Under the saucer at every table, there's a penny, and you get to take home the pineapple. So that's great. Leave the mirrors, but take home the pineapple. Next month is going to be old ladies against underwater garbage, okay? They do not take themselves seriously. They range in age from 62 to 84. They go around to ponds at the Cape picking up trash. So they should be an inspiration. Please don't miss it. And if you know me, you know Halloween is my favorite holiday. So please wear holiday attire. Ghosts, goblins, witches, love to see it. Now for the main event. We are so fortunate to have Linda Santos here with us. She started her love of cooking at an early age in her kitchen, and then she moved on to cooking at her family's restaurant. Since 2015, she has been working at Williams Sonoma. She's worked in Connecticut, New York, and we're fortunate to have her here at Mashpee Commons, where she does cooking demonstrations every Sunday. It's great. And her sous chef is Mary Ann Bauer, who also works at Williams Sonoma. So without further ado, I will turn it over to them.
Thank you, Carolyn. Lisa's going to do a little chatting about, we did some research about Hawaiian cuisine. How many have been to Hawaii for their honeymoon? So we've all eaten a lot of pineapple, right? Okay, here we go.
Aloha. Thank you for having us. Again, my name is Lisa Santos, and I've been with Williams Sonoma for about 12 years, always in culinary. That's where I started. Prior to that, I have been a personal chef, and I come from a long line of very good Italian cooks. And I say that because I think that's where you develop your love for cooking. Everything happens in the kitchen, whether you're Italian or Irish or whatever you are, it all takes place in the kitchen. So I'm happy to be here. I'm going to talk. I want to talk a little bit about the things that you should have in your kitchen, in particular your knives. Some of the most important tools that you should have in your kitchen, and then we'll move on to the cooking demo. So, I brought, does everyone have good knives in their kitchen? Okay, all right. For me, that's the key to everything. For prep work, and also make sure your knives are nice and sharp. If they need to be sharpened, bring them into the store and I can do them for you. So there are 3 knives that are in my rotation in my kitchen. A paring knife. This happens to be an Asian knife. It's Shun, one of my favorite brands. A lovely knife, a 3.5, 4-inch paring knife works great in the kitchen. The next one, just be careful. You do it. Yeah. Woohoo! My other favorite. This is an 8-inch chef knife. Do not be afraid at the size of the blade. You can get a lot done with a nice, girthy, long knife. Again, this is an Asian knife. Asian knives are different than the Germans. The blade is a lot thinner. I would say they're probably a little bit more specialty knives, but I use them every day. The blade is thinner. Sharpening it takes a little bit more skill, but I love this knife. And finally, my other go-to is a Santoku. Yep. You know this one? Okay. Say it again? Yes. Good. This is a smaller one. This knife was created actually by Asian chefs because they do a lot of chopping. So if you have a lot of onions to chop, this is the one to use. This one also has, it's called a hollowed edge. Little divots, I don't know if you can see it, but little divots at the bottom of the base. And that's what makes this knife great for cutting vegetables and onions. Vegetables slide right off of it. So this is a great knife. So really, at home I have probably 10, 12 knives. But these are the 3 that I use every day. And that's really all you need in your repertoire. You don't need to be fancy. All right? And I love the German knives. They're hefty, they're heavier. These are lighter, but either way, it's a great basis for your kitchen. Okay. So, I did a little homework. And I'm so happy to be here because it gave me a chance to do some research on Hawaiian cooking. What did I know? I thought it was pineapple land. But did you know that there are many food influences in Hawaii, starting with the Polynesians back in, let's say 300 to 1778. The Polynesians planted taro, coconuts, sugarcane. They are also the first group that brought over cooked meat and fish. The way they cooked the meat was underground. So the term kalua actually means oven. So if you've ever had kalua pork, traditionally it's cooked underground. If I were to prepare that now, I would use a slow cooker, the modern version of underground cooking. The next group that came, those Europeans and the Americans, 1813, they were whalers and missionaries. They brought salted fish and they created large sugarcane and pineapple plantations. So here's where the pineapples come into play. The other group, now this is what's very interesting to me. So we have the Polynesians, Americans, Europeans. That makes sense. But then the Chinese, Korean, Japanese, Puerto Ricans, and Portuguese came to the island. So it's really a blend of cultures. What did they bring? Cantonese food, Portuguese sweetbread, bento boxes, and pasteles from Puerto Rico. So, let me just get to the next page. I guess having my glasses on might be a little helpful. And last but not least, those pineapples. A person in 1901, the pineapple king, who is James Dole. Yep. He planted pineapples on Oahu, and by 1950, the Hawaiian Pineapple Company was the largest in the world, and still remains one of the largest in the world. So there's your pineapple history. Interesting, right? So, with that said, I decided, these have to be easy demos because we don't have a lot of time. I decided to stick with the pineapple meat theme. So I'm going to prepare pork, pineapple, and red pepper skewers. Again, my style of cooking is the simpler the better. That's how we were raised, and to me, that's the best way to cook. Doesn't need to be anything fancy. So I'm going to show you guys how to prepare that. Very simple. And then I'm going to prepare, it's a little bit of a cheat dessert. It's let me just get the name of it. So the dessert is called a pineapple dream dessert. I don't want you to gasp. The recipe calls for Cool Whip. I wanted to, okay, but I don't use Cool Whip. I do use something similar. It's called True Whip. Has anybody heard of True Whip? There's no oil in it, and it's delicious. So it's a little bit of a cheap dessert, but if you have guests coming last minute, you can literally whip it together in 20 minutes. All right? So I'll get started.
Okay, so Lisa made a marinade. Wanted to share with you guys the recipe. Lisa, which one is it? Is it okay. So we have pineapple juice, hot sauce, honey, olive oil, and salt. Even though that's a marinade, I said to Lisa when she was doing this, I would throw some vinegar in it and make it a salad dressing. Very easy, very, very fabulous. There's a salad, I know most families, you have recipes that have lived on. My mother makes a mandarin orange salad that we've had forever. I could see this, throw pineapples in instead, and add chicken, kind of similar to what, the theme is today and what you guys had over here today. So she did when did you do the marinade, Lisa?
So I made the marinade yesterday. I prepared the marinade yesterday. And I already have some pork, and this is a pork loin. I have it marinating, so just to stay ahead of the curve here. But basically, I would say do this the night before, put it in a little container, and you're good to go for the next day. That's that.
Right, so Lisa and I were talking, cooking with peppers. Lisa and I have the same philosophy. Red, yellow, and orange. Not a big fan of the green. It's a little bit stronger in taste, and we just think that these just work better. I don't want to offend anybody if you love the green pepper, but we're not green pepper fans. So hence the yellow, the green, and the orange, and they do look really pretty. So that's part of it too. So we're doing wood skewers today, which you should soak in water, because if they hit the flame, you know, if it was on a grill outside, they could go on fire. So instead, you know, we're just doing a little Cuisinart kind of tabletop grill that anybody can do. You can get panini ones. Cuisinart makes a panini one that I've used for sandwiches, and you can open them up flat. You can use them for cooking demonstrations, bring them outside. You can grill outside if you don't want to fire up your big grill. So we've had this on for 400, right, Lisa? And nice and high. We soaked our skewers because we don't want them to go on fire. So in the interest of time, she's cut up some pineapple. Are we going to try to cut up a pineapple? I say we, as if I have a mouse in my pocket. I'm eating Lisa. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut up a pineapple.
Okay, she's going to cut up a pineapple. We did bring one of the pineapple tools to make it, like the rings. Or we may just cut it up. We'll see what happens with that. The what?
Skewers?
Go over here.
Are they right in front of me?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Yes.
Are you going to share these recipes? Because if you are, I can email them to everybody.
Sure. So what we could do is we could send, we'll make sure we get your email and we'll send it to you. Okay, we could do that.
So then that way you don't have to take notes. We can take notes, but I'll get you the recipe.
Right, we'll get you the recipes. Okay, no problem. And the plan is to serve them over a rice, right, Lisa? Yep, we're going to serve them over a rice that's got some pineapple, cilantro, a little butter, a little juice of a lime, and a little hot sauce. So that's what the recipe is. So that's what we're going to do. We were talking about cilantro. Some people like it, some don't. It's one of those things, you like it or you don't. So this recipe happens to call for cilantro. What would you try to?
So I'm just gonna make a couple of these,
Yeah.
just so we can show them what's done.
So there's something here on the table I tried, and Lisa's has it to put on top of the dessert. What are these? Lisa, tell them what this is. Go ahead.
So the recipe I have for dessert called for coconut, pineapple. There's a topping on as the last layer. I was at Trader Joe's last week, and they have all their new fall products. And I came across this, I think it's called Coconut Crunch. I don't know if you bought it yet. I think I have purchased every package they had in the store. It is, so it's toasted coconut in honey, with honey, chia seeds, and what kind of nuts would they be?
Like
Maybe
a pine
pumpkin
nut or
syrup?
something?
Yeah, pumpkin seeds. Fabulous.
So they look fabulous. We've been snacking on them since we got here. So that's our little, try to, if you're a Trader Joe's person, try
I
to.
cheated a little bit, but
Yeah.
it's so good, I couldn't do it better myself.
Right. So it's worth it to, lack of a better term, cheat once in a while when you're cooking. You gotta
Nothing wrong
find
with that.
nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
Nothing wrong with that. So,
And so while these are cooking, I'm
Yep.
gonna prepare the dessert.
right. So we're gonna throw them on the fire, throw them on the grill, and she'll get this dream dessert happening.
Yeah. And the dessert is fabulous. If I had ovens, if I had more accoutrements, I would have done something a little bit more exciting. But this is pretty good.
I said to Lisa, I feel like we're cooking on a cruise ship with the breeze and the whole thing. Yes.
It should always be like
Yes.
this.
I think, is this the Hamlet, Lisa? Which one? Is it a broken?
Yeah, so the one that we sell in the store, the one that we have at the store is a little bit different. This is a
Hamilton Beach.
like a no frills version of a smokeless grill. Now this brand we don't, but we sell, there's a couple, but the one that I love is made by Philips. You familiar with that company? I was talking to somebody I was talking to someone at our table. There are certain brands at Williams Sonoma that are just so outstanding because they are customer centric. They really focus on customer service. Breville is one of them, and Philips, who actually created the air fryer many years ago. Philips is another company that I absolutely love.
So Philips came out with a smokeless grill that is wonderful. We don't have it in the store, but we probably have it online. So in the middle of winter, when you don't want to go out to your grill, it's too cold, whatever. This little indoor grill is wonderful. Okay, so we're going to let them cook, and I am going to start this dessert.
So this dream stuff. So Lisa was talking about, what is it called again? Because I grew up on Cool Whip.
See, I did not grow up
She
on
did, yeah, yeah.
So this is called, I think it's called a pineapple dream dessert.
Let's see, pineapple dream dessert.
Can you talk about the non-Cool Whip thing? Tell us how that's made.
So, pineapple dream dessert. These are the ingredients. Shortbread cookies crushed. That's it, I'm done. That's all I need. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. I crushed up those shortbread cookies in my Vitamix, added some melted butter. So it's like a graham cracker crust, but even better. And then in the actual dessert is instant vanilla pudding. I'm whispering. Crushed pineapple and Cool Whip. But again, I don't like Cool Whip because it has oil in it. I like True Whip that you can buy at Whole Foods. All right?
Whole Foods. All right. It's very, very good. So I'm going to mix it up.
Here we go. It looks a lot like Cool Whip. It's a little tricky there, Lisa.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it what?
It is a natural product.
Yep. It's got no preservatives, no fructose, corn syrup, trans fat, no oils, no artificial coloring, and it's gluten-free. Yeehaw. All right, I need... So, I'm going to use half of this, half of the container. Vanilla pudding, instant. Stirring that up. I do. Oh, it's right here. And I am adding 20 ounces of crushed pineapple. I drained it. Had a lot of water in it. Okay. Stirring this up. I might add a little bit more of the True Whip. All right. So this is, now, I would like to make this in a clear casserole dish. In fact, as we were talking about this before, this would look very nice as a trifle. You layer it with,
Keep layering.
yep, with the pudding mix. You can use the cookie crumbs.
Sorry, go ahead.
This would look very pretty in a trifle bowl. You can layer it with the pudding, some of the cookie crumbs, whatever, maybe some pineapple, whatever you'd like. It would look very, very pretty. Okay. So, that's the pudding mix. This is the cookie mix. And again, I'm sorry I don't have a clear dish here. Okay, so we have our cookie crumbs crust. Okay, this. And we'll check that. A layer of the pudding mix, the pudding and the cream. How easy is this?
Now we're going to get cordless mics the next time.
I'm going to finish it with, I might need more. I'm going to finish it with just the plain True Whip on top. So again, this is something that you can whip up literally an hour before your guests come. I would let it sit in the refrigerator for a little bit.
Maybe do it in individual glasses.
Yes.
I think would be very pretty. Do the layers. That could work out well.
But you also, I like to use when I'm spreading, either icing or spreading, a cream on top of something. I like to use an offset spatula, which I did not bring, but that would come in handy right now. Okay, that's that. And then the last part is, you know what? Let's put more of those around because they're so good. More crumbs. And then last but not least, this is fabulous. Toasted coconut, nuts, and chia seeds. Chia seeds. And there are pumpkin seeds in here as well.
So this was a mix that she got at Trader Joe's, but the recipe does give you your own, you could follow the recipe and find out.
Very pretty.
Yep.
After we're done, I have little tasting spoons. If anybody wants to come up, I'm happy to have you try it. I do. I have little, I can give you a little. Why not? Okay. Next. Pineapple time.
You know what? Can I walk around and show everybody?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Ooh, God, that looks good.
Isn't that beautiful? You took them. Oh.
You know what? I'm going to follow you. I have little spoons and little cups.
Oh, all right, we'll work together.
They're in the bag. Yeah. You got it? I have spoons.
Here we go.
All right, this got away from me a little bit. When you're cooking your pork, you should, as you're grilling your pork, you should baste it a little bit, okay? Okay. Everybody knows what this is. The pineapple coral. Okay. I love this. But honestly, I think it's easier to cut a pineapple on your own. I use this, but we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. All right, so I cut both ends off of the, oh God. Okay? Now I'm going to cut it in half the long way. So the key is the core of the pumpkin, oh my gosh. The core of the pineapple is the part of it that you really, you don't want to eat that part. So what I do cut it into quarters. Take a small knife, which I don't seem to have. Hold on. I'm going to take a small knife and I'm going to cut into the core this way. And it'll come right out. This way you're not wasting a lot of the pineapple. All right, so that came out. And now you can cut your pineapple. That's the easiest way for me to cut a pineapple. All right, so the other thing I made,
I steamed some rice this morning. So I'm going to show you what I'm doing with rice here. I'm going to cut up some cilantro. I'm going to squeeze a lime, and that will be a side dish for the pork skewers. Very, very simple. By the way, I do love my slow cooker. I don't generally use it all year round, but around the holidays, boy, it really does come in handy. You can pre-make your mashed potatoes and reheat them in this. So, and obviously it's good for soups and stews. So if you don't have one, it's probably a good thing to add to your repertoire.
okay. Okay, I'm just chopping up some of the pineapple. I'm going to add it to the rice. I am also going to chop some cilantro. By the way, you'll notice that there are two different actions when you're using a chef knife versus a santoku. This has a rolling edge, so you're doing more of this, as with the santoku, it's more chopping. Okay? And I'm going to throw another one of my favorite tools, a juicer. Must have, right? That's a good one. Another great tool, a microplane. And that's it. That's my rice. I'm going to give it a toss. The rice smells wonderful. Really, this is a basmati rice. It's very aromatic. Okay? So we have the rice, my skewers.
You must have a meat thermometer. If you are my husband, you don't need a meat thermometer. He goes online and asks, how long should I cook a chicken breast? Doesn't put in how big the chicken breast is. So either my meat at home is overcooked or undercooked. 145 for pork, 165 for chicken. Steak, 135, leave it out, it'll come up to 140. That's perfect. We're not going to sample the pork today, so I'm not going to be too exact with the temperature. But it makes a lovely presentation. Easy peasy, everything you can do ahead of time, including that rice. And dinner is served. Any questions? Thank you. How is the dessert? Is it good? Yeah, it's a good one. Anybody have questions? Yes, hi, yes. That's a very good question. Okay. So, I'll repeat it. How to pick a ripe pineapple. It's not that easy. I tend to look for a pineapple that has a golden bottom. So I brought 2 pineapples. Unfortunately, I cut one of them. This one I bought yesterday. I probably will wait a few days to cut this because it's still looking pretty green. But if you see that your pineapple starts to get a golden hue, I think it'll be a good pineapple. And by the way, we do wonderful cooking classes at Williams Sonoma. Come October and November, I'll be doing a lot of probably fall baking during the day. Yeah, Sundays at 11. This month is coffee month, which is kind of boring. But if you need a coffee maker, it's a good time to come. October, November, we'll be doing fall baking and Thanksgiving prep. So it's a great time to stop by. He's amazing. Michael's Donuts, amazing, yeah. So I don't even try to compete with him. He's got it going on. And if you ever need help, if you want to make an appointment and come into the store, myself or Marion are more than happy to work with you. I can help you set up your scullery, your tools that you need, cooking ideas. We're there to help. And thank you. Aloha.